All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the Strength Classroom. Today, I'm gonna talk about the benefits and how to perform heavy ass kettlebell swings. So heavy kettlebell swings are honestly a game changer. Whatever the heaviest kettlebell you have access to, use it and abuse it. So if you're looking to build explosive power, strengthen your posterior chain, just get more fit, get your lungs going, be able to do a big amount of work in a small amount of time for your posterior chain, kettlebell swings are definitely for you. So I'm gonna break down everything you need, how to maybe progress up to the heavy kettlebell swing, how to do them, how to perform them, what muscles you should feel as they're working, some cues, and all that. So what are the benefits of kettlebell swings? Well, in the first place, kettlebell swings are a compound movement, which means they engage more than one muscle group at a time. And when they're performed correctly, they work your glutes, hamstrings, core, upper back, forearms, lower back, and your lungs, even though that's not a muscle. So your heart, because that is a muscle. But the real magic happens in the posterior chain, to be honest. The muscles along your back, from your calves to your shoulders, that's what's really gonna take the brunt of the punishment. This chain is key for strength, stability, athletic performance, you name it. The posterior chain is a beast when it comes to just displaying any type of athletic quality, whether it's strength, explosiveness, power, you name it. So kettlebell swings can also have a huge amount of benefits for bodybuilders, believe it or not. They're excellent for building glutes, hamstrings, and the lower back while improving muscular endurance and metabolic conditioning. Heavy swings also involve multiple muscle groups, which are burning a lot of calories and just getting a lot of training economy, a lot of muscles hit at the same time. So the biggest benefit that a bodybuilder is going to have here is the high time under tension. It's not like an isolation exercise where you're gonna feel like, wow, my hamstrings are really feeling it or my glutes are really feeling it. You're gonna feel it along your entire backside. For powerlifters, kettlebell swings, specifically heavy kettlebell swings, can complement and supplement deadlift training. They're going to emphasize hip thrust power, glute activation, posterior chain strength, and all of those are very important for having a strong deadlift. The explosive nature of the swing actually mimics the explosive power you need for a powerful deadlift lockout. Powerlifters who incorporate kettlebell swings can increase their overall strength while reducing the risk of overuse injuries from constantly using heavy barbell training. How can athletes benefit from heavy swings? So particularly in sports like, let's say, football, basketball, track and field, heavy swings can maybe indirectly carry over to sprinting power and explosive movements like jumping and cutting. It's not going to mimic them, but it's going to strengthen the muscles that are involved in them. The posterior chain is key in almost every athletic movement. It develops a strong hip hinge and builds explosive hip power, which will help improve athletes' speed and agility. Athletes can also use swings as a conditioning tool without sacrificing gains. Now, you want the kettlebell to be heavy enough. Don't use a 30-pound kettlebell and be like, oh yeah, this is increasing my power. It has to be heavy enough. For the general person that just works out, remains young, strong, body's resilient, can benefit from all the things I just named. So let's talk about setting up for your swing. A proper setup is crucial so you don't injure. A lot of people injure their low backs on this just because they're not setting up properly. You want to stand with your feet about hip width apart. It could be narrower, it could be wider, but just start off with hip width apart and see how it goes from there. Your foot position is also going to depend on you. I like to have them just slightly outwards to point my toes, not 45 degrees, not perfectly straight, just ever so slightly. Let's call it 10 to 15 degrees. And the kettlebell should actually be placed out in front of you. Think of how a center in football snaps the football. It's not directly under them, it's out in front of them and then they pull it backwards. And that's exactly how you're gonna initiate the swing. You're gonna lift it up off the floor, you're gonna pull it backwards, and then use that rebound to get it going. A big mistake I see is people just kind of deadlifting the kettlebell up and then starting the swing. Your first swing, the range of motion where it starts and where it ends, should look exactly like your final swing of the set. Your first rep shouldn't be really small and then it gradually gets bigger, because those reps honestly don't count in my opinion. You want to set yourself up properly to engage in the swing. So you're going to bend at your hips and slightly at your knees. Keeping your legs straight is not a good thing. You don't want your knees to be stiff but you don't want to turn it into a squat. It wants to be mainly a hinge, but you can have some soft knees on the way back and then straighten as you're thrusting with your hips on the way forward. Hinging at your hips is what's going to keep your glutes engaged. It's going to protect your lower back. Your chest, you don't want your rib cage to fall. That will allow your chest to stay up. And you should maintain a neutral spine. You don't want to round it, but you don't want to arch the shit out of it at the same time. So you want to imagine your back is like a board. You want it to remain neutral the whole time. You're going to grip the kettlebell really hard with both hands, and you're going to make sure your grip is firm, but it's not, let's say you're not trying to break it, okay? You want the tension in your arms and shoulders and your lats. If you feel all the tension in your hand, you're not activating as much muscle as you possibly could be. So to initiate the swing off the floor, you're going to pull it back, like I said, football style, and then you're going to push your hips back while keeping your knees bent slightly. And you want to keep the kettlebell as close to you at all times. Don't let it fly away from you. At the top, I always like to tell people to maintain the tension in your glutes, hamstrings, back, and lats. Keep the bell close to you at the top, and imagine you have T-Rex arms. I used to let the bell float in front of me and think that's giving me a better arc, but I actually looked into some like hardcore kettlebell channel, and not only do I think this is wrong now, but I think the other way is far superior, and I would swing no other way. The easiest way I could give a beginner to heavy swings, the best cue possible, is to think of your deadlifting your deadlift max, and that's how much power and hip drive you are putting into the heavy kettlebell. But it might only be 100, 150 pounds. So you want to make sure these reps are fast. This is not a finesse exercise when it comes to bar speed. So you want to snap your hips as fast as you can. The harder and faster you drive your hips, the higher the kettlebell will swing. But here's the thing, your arms should not be doing any lifting. So you're not curling it up, you're not shrugging it up. In fact, when you are powerfully thrusting it forward, you almost want your back and arms to prevent it from flying away. Remember what I said, T-Rex arms. This is what's going to engage your upper back as well and really turn this into a full body exercise. You want to control the descent. You don't want it to be snappy. You don't want it to be choppy. So it's just as important to have a good upward swing than it is to have a good descent. So as the kettlebell starts to fall, don't just let gravity take it and break your body in half. You need to keep tension in your hamstrings, glutes, core, and your back. So think of it as you're catching the kettlebell at the body of the movement with those muscles I just listed. Don't think of it as you're catching it with your hands. So always control the kettlebell even though it is moving fast. A way I would program this, I would do sets of 15 to 25 reps. Do it with 5 sets when you're new. You're gonna get, let's say, a 50-pound kettlebell. And make sure you're doing all those cues. You're trying to throw it as fast as you can with your hips. You're maintaining tension in the key muscle groups, the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back, and even the upper back. And then let's say that's really easy. You're able to do 25 reps. Go to the next heaviest kettlebell you have and the next heaviest until you're at a really heavy kettlebell. My heaviest kettlebell is an 80-kilogram kettlebell. I understand not many people are gonna have access to that, but just get the heaviest kettlebell you have. If the heaviest kettlebell in your gym is 100 pounds, just do sets of 50. Simple solution. This might not build as much power because you're doing high rep sets, and it's not gonna build as much strength, but it's definitely gonna do a lot for fat loss, muscular endurance, and conditioning. To wrap things up, honestly, heavy swings carry over to everything. And if they're great for hip drive, great for your posterior chain, great for muscular endurance, great for just a whole bunch of things. At the end of the day, just do some heavy swings. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day.